So, Saints, welcome. So, the thumbnail is pretty much a summary of what is going on the earth right now with these entities. And I'll talk about it. Let's look at Lamentations 3:37. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass when the Lord commanded it not? Let only the Most High speak into your life. Isaiah 22:22. And the key of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulder. So he shall open, and none shall shut, and he shall shut, and none shall open. The Pope does not have this key of David. So whatever he's doing, that summoning, is evil. It's not holy, it's not of God. It is contrary to God. Okay, so let's get into this. I did a video about Francis Scott Key Bridge, and in this video we were able to establish from this whole ritual that Francis the Pope has a key, and I showed that key, and we know that he was a janitor, and a janitor usually has keys and access to several rooms. So he is playing that Janus role, the janitor, the Janus role, the double-faced. Though other entities or other people will play that role again, but he is playing this role by opening these portals from December 2024 and crossing the threshold into January 2025. He is the janitor that holds the keys to the underworld. And I also showed in the same video how he is connected to the underworld, where these people just keep on changing shape and form, but it's still that same demonic satanic energies. So it's a world of the living dead. So when I say he has keys to the underworld, it's not a reach. I already showed you that. Okay, and then we also see who is coming to the world stage, the Three Stooges, the unholy trinity. And I believe that all this is a sequence, lockstep. These events are set to occur to reach a predetermined goal. So we are moving in sequence. Please watch. It's important to watch what I do here because it builds on each other. One builds upon the previous ones, as I'm led by the Holy Spirit to do. So he is opening portals. A portal is a door, a portal is a gate. Opening portals is summoning. In essence, he is summoning. This portal opening ceremony is a witchcraft ritual. It is a summoning ritual that involves incantations. And there's more information about that in the Hurricane Helene video. What he is doing is ominous. It is a foreshadowing of evil. It is sinister. And if you watched while this was going on, he himself appeared nervous when that door was being opened. Okay? Lucifer is a very bad master. It doesn't matter who you are. In the end, you lose with him. He's unpredictable. And then again, let's not forget that he's in a wheelchair. Why would he be when he prides himself as a connection between man and God? You know? And I bring this wheelchair up to alert those who are still asleep to the times we are in and what is really going on. I have nothing against people in wheelchairs or wheelchairs at all. But I'm just trying to show you that if you claim to be God and you can't save yourself, people need to wake up to what is happening. So he is summoning. Summoning is synonymous with conjuring. What is that? Conjuring is to summon by incantation. This is a use of spells or verbal charms spoken or sung as part of a ritual of magic. Okay, so what they sing or speak is these written liturgical prayers which they recite. It's a formula of words designed to produce a particular effect. And all that was done before those doors were opened. Okay? So to summon these spirits, you have to go through a sequence of activities and events. And one of the biggest ones is these incantations. And sacrifices is really the hugest one, when you're taking lives. But the incantations are so important to these rituals. So this conjuring manifests in many forms, and one of the ways it does is by affecting people mentally. So this conjuring doesn't just always bring up entities that their effects are obvious, like they possess somebody. Sometimes it will just affect somebody by having that person having demonic thoughts. They might still lead a normal life and seem like nothing has changed or has happened, but they start having these sick thoughts in their minds. Okay, that's these conjured spirits, depending on their power and the opportunity, they affect people differently. They cause disease. Okay, so whenever that entity spirit is conjured up, it has to end up somewhere, in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So again, I'll repeat myself. In conjuring leads to these incarnations. Okay? These incarnations are always preceded by incantations. This is sorcery, it's enchantment, it's bewitchment, it's a hex, it's magic. We are in the time of deep, deep witchcraft, as the big bad demons, they're all bad, are being summoned. So opening portals is summoning. A summoning is by incantation. An incantation leads to an incarnation. An incarnation is the act of giving a body to a spirit. These incarnations result in versions. It's an aversion, an eversion, an obversion, a diversion, an inversion, reversion, perversion, subversion, conversion, ambiversion, and so forth and so on. It's a version of, it's anything but the truth. It's anything but the original form. They keep on trying until it happens. It doesn't matter how. So they come in as perversions. They come in as inversions. You have these people who are inverted. They're male, but they identify as female. That's an inversion. We know what a perversion is. We have reversions. So it is anything but the truth as God intended it to be. Okay? So I need to warn children of God to stop bragging or talking about incarnation so lightly. You have to be sure of what you're talking about. This is nothing to brag about unless you know exactly what you're talking about. Okay? The witchcraft is deep. It's deep. It's into soul harvesting and recycling and splitting souls. So they split souls. They create all these versions. They split souls. You can take one soul and split it into more than one. It's really, it's demonic, it's devilish. So how do these spirits take form? How do they take a body? How are they able to kidnap and direct one's will? How do they hijack? This is inverse possession. How do they possess one? Okay. So before they take a body, that body with the spirit, soul, and mind has to be sufficiently corrupt, either passively through neglect of truth or actively through sinning. So we have lukewarm Christians. Okay, that's a passive corruption of your body. They can still take, they will take, and we know that they do take these bodies. Okay? And then we have those who are actively sinning, engaging, breaking God's commandments. Okay, they take those bodies too. Another way they are able to do it applies only to children. Okay? That's why they love children. Okay? Because these young bodies, these young children lack the ability to fend off the attack because they have not had the opportunity to develop the defense against such malice. Okay? This is why it's our responsibility to protect our children. Because the children have no defense. They haven't had enough experience to create that defense, so they will take those bodies too. And again, this is why we had that jab. It was to compromise the bodies of especially God's children so that they could possess them. And this is also the reason why we have sin and temptation everywhere. This is to compromise your person, the body, so that they can come in and take it and possess it. Why am I saying all this? This is about summoning, because that's what's in the air right now. That's what's happening. We have these entities around looking for bodies. They can possess those bodies either greatly or minimally. But you see, with God, you're either in or you're out. You can't be like a lukewarm Christian. You have to be wholly surrendered to Christ. Okay? We need to be aware and we need to be careful. And we need to especially protect the children. Okay, so let's go back to this ritual. Who are they summoning? Are they summoning the 5 of the 8 kings? Okay, these are the 8 kings spoken of in Revelation 17. 11 especially. So 10 says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And then verse 11 says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And when they call these people beasts, they really are beasts. They've just taken on a human form, but their true form is a beast. So it is my understanding that they're summoning these beasts or these spirits or these demons that occupy those beasts, those 5. And that's why he was opening 5 portals. Okay? Are we about to witness a parade of the 8 kings? This specific parade will involve 3 kings who are coming to the world stage, the unholy trinity like I've shown, plus the 5 that are being summoned. A procession is coming. A procession is coming, I'm telling you. And then verse 12 says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Okay? So this is me wondering whether these 10 kings are going to emerge from the new BRICS coalition. And when we look at the word BRICS, it's linguistically similar to Barack, who is the new world leader. And I believe this verse 12 will manifest after he comes into power. Okay, and I know we are all trying to figure these things out as they're unfolding, and if you have any different information, please share it. But what I also know is that it might manifest in several different ways. Okay, so other ideas might be different than mine, but they're still accurate. So please, if you have other information, please share it. But I'm starting to get very suspicious of these BRICS. And I already mentioned it before. So study that, saints. Study it. Okay, a little more about those 8 kings. So that 8 king from Egypt, and I showed that in what was that video titled? I think it was the the Tower of Babel, and it's public now. It was private, now I have it on public. Watch that. That Ra from Egypt was paraded, and he's going to be number 8. So the last will be the first, and the first will be the last. That is the mimicry and the mockery that's going on right now. There's more about 8 kings in literature and in the media. And we know that what they do is all planned out. They've been at this for a long time. I mean, since Lucifer was cast down, he went to work right away. He's a busybody, you know. So a lot of the events, a lot of the plays, the music, whatever happens around is designed for them. It's designed to harvest our energy so that we can make their agenda be fulfilled. Okay? Shakespeare's Macbeth deals with the 8 kings, as we can see here. The 8 kings shown to Macbeth by the witches and their significance. It's interesting that it's 8 kings and the witches are there, and we are in the witching season. You know, it's coming out in the open now. It might seem like just an innocuous play, but we know that these entities never miss an opportunity to create a ritual to influence their outcomes. And usually they do this by hijacking honest processes and activities and commandeering them for their gain. So not only do they possess people with their witchcraft, they possess places, things, processes, and use them for their demonic kingdom. Okay? This play to me is by design, and it relates to Revelation chapter 11. It's all about witchcraft. Remember, Satan operates only through witchcraft, nothing else. So this image is of that Macbeth, and I believe that that portal that the Pope opened probably looks like that inside. Sort of kind of, it's like a cave. We know there are dungeons underneath the Vatican, as there are in many other places, you know. And I think these spirits are not trapped in there, but kept in there, secured in there, so to speak. Okay. These people are avatars, the people on the outside, our leaders that we see running. I don't know why I'm saying our leaders. These leaders who are outside here running around and claiming to be their leaders. They have their avatars, and they have several spirits occupying them at any one time, and several different spirits at different times. So the spirit they have in their teens might not be the same one they have in their adulthood or in their old age. So the spirit that will occupy their avatars of these 3, the unholy trinity, is probably the spirit that the demons that are being let out right now. They're getting ready, because we know we are the engine. Come January 20th, the engine will be revving, like I said before. This witchcraft, this switching is managed by big wizards and warlocks and other demons and fallen angels. So, will these 8 kings of these fallen kings be paraded in a series, in a procession, and will they be in their true form, their beastly nature? The Bible calls them beasts because they are literally beasts taking on human form. They're ugly, they're ghastly, they're abominations. Okay? Will the final 3 kings imbue the spirit of all of them, of the other 5, or have these spirits been moving from one leader to another? That's why they're called, and that is why they're supposedly related, this elite, like they're all related, because they have this spirit just moving around them, they keep it in the family. Will the one world leader ultimately imbue all these demonic entities at one time? I believe so. And I think he will be ruthless because he will be filled with all these abominations. Yeah? So obviously they have this erroneous assumption that they will have a fighting chance against the Christ, but they won't win. But even though that, they still want to inflict as much damage as possible before they're taken out. Okay? And they can do this by being possessed by the biggest, baddest demons of all time. These entities never die. They are denied that final rest. And that is why they are so destructive. That's why they're caught up in that loop of coming back and incarnation, reincarnation. Okay? They never rest. That's why they're so destructive. They're always going back and forth like a roaring lion looking for someone they might devour, someone they might possess. Imagine yourself if you didn't get enough rest. Even look at children when they don't get sleep. How disturbed they are. This is what's happening to these entities. They never die in the truest sense. These are those that seek death but never find it. They're stuck in Satan's time loop. The reincarnation cycle, the same cycle they try to trap God's children in. They're stuck in that. This reminds me of a song that I used to like a lot, Hotel California by the Eagles. And it says, you can check out, but you can never leave. Yeah. And also on this image, it's interesting to note Trump, like I've shown, he has these attributes of the monkey. Watch DJT. But then he also has claimed to be a snake in that poem. He says, I was a snake when you picked me, or something to that effect. So what I'm saying, this confirms what I'm saying, that they have all these different entities or spirits occupying them at any given time, more than one. Okay, I know King Philip will probably be part of this. The New World leader will be full-time this. This has been shown to me in a vision and in a dream. And I will talk about that sometime when I get the chance. But let's look at a little bit Hotel California, where you can check out but you can never leave. So this is just part of the song, Mirrors on the Ceiling. Satan's kingdom is witchcraft. It's a mirroring, or trying to mirror God's kingdom. And we know witches use a lot of mirrors for witchcraft. And this also has been revealed to me in a dream. I saw witches using mirrors to do witchcraft on some of my family members. I did not know till then that mirrors are used in witchcraft. But then after that, so many revelations came to me about mirrors. And Sheol is a mirror. It's a big reflection. And that's disruptive to God's kingdom. So mirrors on the ceiling. Let's see here. Mirrors on the ceiling. The pink champagne. Pink is incarnation. The pink champagne on ice. And she said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. Yes, they are. That's the door that that Pope is opening. They are prisoners of their own device. Wicked, evil devices, mischievous, evil devices. And in the master's chambers they gathered for the feast. Look, they stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. They never die. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. They tried to escape. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Yes. And you know, what I like about this is the more awake and aware I become, I go back to all these songs I used to listen to. I don't watch a lot of movies, so whenever I present anything about movies, I'm just reading the summary on Wikipedia right there and then. But I used to listen to a lot of music, and when I go back and look at it, I'm like, wow, now it all makes sense, you know? Anyway, let's go back to the 5 portals. So another application of that 5 portals may be a reference to the 5th seal, the seal of martyrdom. Is he opening the 5th seal, the seal of martyrdom? And if you watched the Stag Awards, then Holy Trinity, specifically the second video, in the context of what I'm talking about here, is that whatever is summoned is going to possess the next leader of America, who will implement the Antichrist laws. These are the Noahide laws, the Abrahamic Accords. These are those that expand the death penalty. They are targeting Christians specifically, and they will punish them for their faith. And I have to again talk here to those, the Bible and gun people. They're coming for you. So long as you claim Christ, so long as you say that name, yeah, they're coming for you. And I'll talk about this in the part 2. I'll talk about it more in part 2. Revelation 6:9 says, and when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. So what I'm wondering is whether they're just, you know how they mimic and mock and blaspheme. So maybe they're just opening those doors, mimicking this scripture. What they're doing can be applied to so many situations, like I said, and they will all be correct. But let me know what you think, okay? Okay, when they're opening these portals, they said it's because it's a Jubilee year. And I think it's true, we are headed into the Jubilee season. And I talked about this when I did A New Dawn. When did I do it? I think it was in March, at the beginning of this year. I didn't even know that they do this thing too. However, I think what they're doing is interfering with the times and seasons, and they're trying to, the timing might be a little bit off. But more importantly, I believe since they must play out the playbook of mimicry, mockery, blasphemy, arrogance, and all those other vices, what they will do is they will create a season of prosperity. And we know this is coming because already that incoming American president is promising what looks like really good stuff. And we know that what happens in the US trickles to the rest of the world. So in essence, I think the world is going to ride this wave. Okay? And I think as saints, we need to be judicious. We need to pray about this, how we can participate, how we can be in it, but not of it. I mean, we cannot exclude ourselves because they run the whole system. I mean, how are you going to eat? You know, what are you going to do? And people talk of moving away from the cities and into the countryside. You can do that, but these people will find you with their drones. You know, when you look at some of these areas that have been affected by disasters, they're remote areas, you know. I'm telling you, what we need is God's wisdom and grace and protection. But anyway, so back to the Jubilee year. So I think that's coming, but they're trying to interfere with it. So while people will be celebrating the windfall that is coming, this contrived golden age, people tend to forget God when they get happy and wealthy and resources. And I think when that happens, they'll strike. It's like how in the country when we need to get chicken for dinner, you know what we do? We have grain. We have something for them to come eat. And when they all come, we lay the trap for them then. And I think that's how they're going to do it. We need to be sober and vigilant, like it says in 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He's wicked. He has very wicked devices. Okay. That opening that door or those portals, that summoning, that's a secret counsel of the wicked. Yeah? Psalm 64:2 says, we need to pray these prayers. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. We should have been praying this even before the pandemic. That jab, jab, jab. Because they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Psalm 64:5. You know, they plan all these things. And we were asleep. So they had us for breakfast, dinner, and lunch a lot of times. But now we are waking up. And they can't do that. So they're going to use force. They're going to get more forceful. They are bound. They have to go through that routine. They have to go through that ritual, but they will lose. But we are not sleeping, so they just can't do these things. And we are happy-go-lucky singing along, ooh, and going along with them. No. Now they're going to force us to do them because we are aware of what's going on. We are aware of the secret counsel. We are aware of their wickedness, their iniquity. Okay? Please read this whole chapter of Psalm 64 and immerse yourself in the Psalms for prayers, for protection. Memorize those chapters and verses. Please do that. Okay? Yeah, this brings us to the end of part 1. And in part 2, I will explore a little bit more of what I just spoke about here and summarize everything together for you. Thank you so much for watching. Questions, comments, suggestions are always welcome. Remember, all is truth. There can only be truth. Everything else is a distraction. Do not be distracted. Do not turn your eye away from God. This is a critical hour. Do not turn away from God. Okay. Thank you so much, and I will see you in part 2. Thank you.